And then there is the other race. Now there's one less Republican presidential hopeful. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott announcing he's out.
I am suspending my campaign. I think the voters who are the most remarkable people on the planet have been really clear that they're telling me not now, Tim. I don't think they're saying, Trey, no, but I do think they're saying not now.
All right, so that was last evening, and here's how the New York Times put it. Quote, Tim Scott suspends 24 campaign as his sunny message failed to resonate.
That's so mean.
I read that and I was like,
did anyone see Trey Gowdy's response? I mean,
yeah, he was shocked. He didn't know what was going on.
His hair was standing on end. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Denise, this was your candidate, right? Like, this is who you were hoping was going to make it to the finish line.
And he always will be. I'm telling you, I get a little misty when I see that because I just think he's such a class act all around as a human being. Forget about the politician side. This is a man who literally stood there and took it and never gave it back the way he took it. And I just think that he set a new standard and changed the tone of what it could have been on those stages. And it'll be interesting to see what it's like now that he's not. The other thing I would say is that his Senate run ends, right? His next term ends right as this next election is teeing up. So when you heard him say, not now, I think he's keeping the door open for the future. And I hope that he does, because we need more people like Tim Scott elevating the dialogue in Washington and bringing people together.
So the New York Times, you mentioned elevating the dialogue. Is the Times right there? Basically painting this as you can't have a sunny message and win in the Republican Party right now?
I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that's true. And I thought that was a mischaracterization.
That headline.
Look, Tim Scott conducted himself honorably. He did have his one unfortunate moment with Nikki Haley talking about the curtains at the UN when he was trying to get a little more attention. But generally speaking, he did conduct himself like a gentleman. He did go through this the right way, and he made the correct choice to leave when they didn't want him. Right. I think messaging gets way too much emphasis. Voters respond to individuals, right? And they come up with a lot of their rationale post facto. Afterwards, they're like, well, it was this, it was that. But sometimes the dogs don't like the dog food, and that was Tim Scott's experience here, and that's okay.
By the way, I want to mention though. So we have that announcement last night. Nikki Haley's campaign comes out and says, "Hey, we're spending $10 million this upcoming month."
So I was actually with her team before I came on here.
Tell us.
And they've done very well the last 12 hours. And I think a lot of their, I don't have numbers right now, but a lot of his donors are going to her. And I think that I do disagree with you that she is the one that's getting any momentum out of the debates, if anybody.
Among the press and donors.
Well, her numbers have gone up 10% in Iowa. I know they're still not, what his are, meaning the former presidents, but...
She's fighting for number 2 anyway. She's not fighting for number 1, is she?
I don't know. I think she would say she's fighting for number 2.
I know what she would say, but the reality is she's down 40 points too, right?
Not if you look at some of these states.
So here's the problem with Tim Scott. I'm going to respectfully disagree with you, Chris. This sunny message, this positive message, this kind of old school Reagan-esque messaging is great for him, but that's not where the Republican Party is right now. I mean, Donald Trump is 40 points ahead, and he doesn't have a sunny message or positive message. He has got a negative message, if you will, across the board, and that's where the Trump supporters are, and that's why he's in control of the party, and the Trump supporters are in control of the party. They're not nice people.
There's still only 30% of the Republican Party that's for Trump.
Trump is running as a de facto incumbent, right?
Yeah.
He is the most recent Republican nominee for president. And so the way you always have to, I hate to repeat myself, but the way you have to think about the Republican Party is about 35% of Republicans are Trump. About 25% are anti-Trump. The rest, a bare plurality, they just want a Republican to win. They don't care who it is particularly.
So why is Trump up by 40 points and going higher, and everyone else is on the downswing except for Nikki Haley?
Do you believe?
How do you explain that?
Well, she has had some momentum. She has been moving forward. And the other thing I would say is there's another debate that is coming up, and it's going to be the best debate yet. You know why? Because it's the first debate on NewsNation. It's going to be anchored. It's going to come to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, on December 6th. It's going to have Elizabeth Vargas. It's going to have Megyn Kelly, and it's going to have Eliana Johnson. And I just came out of a meeting where we were talking about it. I can tell you the questions are mwah.
Okay.
We'll leave it there.
Did you create them all?
Did you create them all? He's
no, I didn't create them all. How would I with those 3 women, you think that I'm telling them what to do?
Exactly.
No.
Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.